The king sat back in his chair, crossing his arms contemplatively. "So is anyone going to tell me how your presence in the village became known?" Gregor didn't need to look to know that McSorley was fighting laughter and dying to make some kind of jest, especially as it was one of his favorite topics to jest about. You'd think that after 7 years he'd grow tired of it. Gregor should be so damned lucky. Usually it didn't bother him, but this time it could have gotten them all killed. His mouth fell in a hard line. "It seems the farmer's young daughter couldn't keep a secret, and decided to tell a few of her friends we were there." "A few?" McSorley said. "The enterprising lass sold nearly a dozen tickets to see the most handsome man she'd ever seen in her life." He added the last in the dreamy, sing-songy voice of a 16-year-old lass that made Gregor itch to put his fist through that gleaming grin. "Tickets?" Bruce asked incredulously. "You can't be serious." McCreary nodded, smirking. "Aye, at a halfpenny apiece. And all these years we've been getting to look at him for free." Gregor shot him a glare. Now McCreary was making jests? Christ, hell had truly frozen over. "I told you not to remove your helm," McSorley said, still smirking. "For 3 days," Gregor replied exasperatedly, raking his hair back with his fingers. It was so bloody ridiculous. It wasn't the fact that he was an elite warrior in the Highland Guard taking on the most dangerous mission that was going to get him killed. It was his cursed face. Although he had to admit there were times when it wasn't a curse. In the alehouse last night, for example, with that pretty buxom serving lass who'd crept into his bed. But it sure as hell didn't have a place in war. Just once he'd like to meet a woman who didn't take one look at his face and pledge her undying love. Or at least one who wasn't married to one of his brethren. Gregor stood silently as McSorley and McCreary exchanged a few more barbs pointed in his direction. By the time they were done, even the king was chuckling. Aye, it was bloody hilarious. He supposed there were a lot worse things than having women throw themselves at him, but sometimes it began to wear. After a minute, Bruce sobered. "So how long do you think it's going to be before someone connects the most handsome man she's ever seen, who was part of the failed attack on Berwick with Gregor MacGregor, the famed archer and most handsome man in Scotland?" Gregor cringed again. Christ, he hated that moniker. "I don't know, sire.